he goes away.
And with that, let's bring in a senator who was at the White House lunch, Louisiana Republican Bill Cassidy, chairman of the Health, Labor, and Pensions Committee. Senator, great to have you on the show. It's interesting there because you have this dynamic where you had John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, saying, look, there's nothing to negotiate. And Chuck Schumer now saying, all we want them to do is sit down and negotiate with us. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts are, it's kind of interesting. It's a catch-22. We actually can't write legislation as long as Congress is out of session. So the Schumer shutdown shuts down the ability to write legislation to reopen government to make health care more affordable again. So Schumer, if you will, has got himself in a trap. I think for the president, it's been easier to negotiate with Hamas than it has been with Chuck Schumer. We need them to end the shutdown. Let's get to work.
You talk about a trap here, Senator. I want to put this on the board because this is the Reuters poll that just came out, and they're talking about, the approval rating. Look at this. You have Republicans. Who do you blame for the government shutdown? Republicans, 50%. Democrats, 43%. So, you think your Republicans, all that I talk to, say, look, we've got a winning hand here. The Democrats are losing this, but that the numbers tell a bit of a different story. What do you make of that?
Well, first, if you ask, should Democrats shut down the government for the Affordable Care Act or for Obamacare, their numbers look far worse. Let me say that. But Republicans are focused on decreasing the cost of health care. Right now, what Democrats want, health care costs have skyrocketed, and they want to paper it over on the Obamacare exchanges with subsidies. If you're a small business, you're still paying through the nose. If you are anybody but on a subsidized exchange, you're paying more. Republicans want to lower health care costs for everybody, those in small business, those paying for the small business, as well as those on the exchanges. Democrats have shown no interest in that.
Yeah, we want to remind the audience again that you are a physician, you're a medical doctor. I want to play this soundbite because it comes from MSNBC, Joe Scarborough, talking about kind of the same thing. He believes that Democrats are winning this, and here's why. Watch.
72% of Americans are on Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries' side. They're actually winning this debate. Republicans can have very logical arguments about clean CRs. It just doesn't matter to most Americans. Most Americans feel the pinch of these healthcare costs skyrocketing, and they're blaming Republicans.
Of course, the problem there is he's talking about, 72% are on Chuck Schumer. It's not the case. That had nothing to do with it. He's talking about 72% of Americans would like to see lower health care premiums, and I think that's a fact. But at the same time, if you're giving illegal immigrants health care benefits, you're not going to lower those premiums.
Well, the point being that under the Democratic plan, costs go up. That's the kind of, oh my gosh, bait and switch. If you are a small business paying for premiums, what the Democrats are proposing does nothing for you. It may make your situation worse. Republicans actually want to lower the cost of health care. But by the way, as long as the Schumer shutdown keeps going, we can't work on it because the people who helped write the legislation are furloughed. So if Schumer ends the shutdown, we can actually begin to lower those premiums and to lower the cost for everybody. We want health care costs to decrease, and we want to do for that like we did for energy costs. Bring them all down, important to the American people. In the shutdown, let's get to it.
Interesting because John Thune was not, he was asked a couple of questions. He had some others answer some questions there, but basically it was nothing about the potential of using the nuclear option, which of course would drop the 60 vote threshold down. What do you think of that option?
It goes around and comes around. If Republicans want to end that, Democrats will do it next time. And I feared what Democrats would do tremendously. Just think of all the missions they could do. Slash the military, make Washington, D.C. a state, giving 2 more Democratic senators, changing voting rights. And so it would be very against the people in the red states. So that what goes around comes around. But if you end the Schumer shutdown, Republicans and Democrats can get to work to actually lower health care costs as opposed to paper them over on the Obamacare exchanges. That's what Democrats want. We want to lower cost.
I got to go, Senator. Thank you for your time. But how did the gathering go with the president today?
It went really well. The president's gracious as always, got my signed Gulf of America hat. And so it was a lot of fun. More importantly, connected with the president about how do we go forward. And that's the most important thing we did.
Senator Bill Cassidy, Louisiana. Senator, thank you, sir. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Also with us, Democratic Senator Chris Coons of Delaware, who was on the appropriate